Where's the love? Where's the love? It's right here in the heart of the city. I'm Silas Grant, and I got my man with me.
What's up, homie?
OTL,
What's
man.
happening?
What's up, Slim?
Man, I'm all right, man.
Yeah.
Springtime, man.
Springtime. You out here, pastel, that
yeah,
damn.
all that, man. Easter already happened, but you know what I mean, little Sergio joke, Yeah, that's how
Glasses too.
I'm feeling, man. You know, we got a good man with us today, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had to come fresh with a homie, man. You know, yeah, for sure. How you? You all right?
I'm good, man. We talked about this briefly, ironically at an event he hosted this weekend, but we were both there, but at different times. But we talked after the fact that a lot of people have been talking about the podcast.
Yeah, man.
And we appreciate that.
Big time.
Big time. A lot of people are subscribing to the page and liking the content on the page and resharing on social media.
That's really cool. And like you said, sort of those nods of you, man. Y'all keep doing what you're doing, and people are like gleaning from the interviews, which I think is important. You know, somebody can talk to you about like a certain point of the interview that even may go past some of the the clips that we shared to really show you that they really tuning in. So we appreciate you guys out there, man.
Well deserved.
Yeah, thank you, man. We growing it, so it's gonna be some new features coming with it as well. So
sure.
we're gonna build this plane and fly it how it gotta be flown.
Yeah, man.
Well, today we got another guest, a man of many hats.
Indeed.
Too many for me to name. And speaking of name, it's funny, this guy we've got with us today has done so much in so many different arenas. And normally we do this sort of like master class, and we, sometimes are really, up straight and that sort of thing, right? So I would introduce him as Kevin Hallums, but
yeah, that's right.
The world knows him as Scooty, man.
Uncle Scooty.
What's up, Scooty?
Man, what's going on, man? I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you, man, for
my guys.
Yeah, man.
Guys.
Thank you for pulling up on us, bro. And I think obviously, congrats are in order. You and your beautiful wife, Pierre, man, and y'all family. Great, y'all about to bring in a new member to the tribe.
Absolutely.
Baby shower was incredible. So thanks for the invite. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Wish we could have stayed longer. You know what I'm saying?
We got there after y'all had left.
Yeah, we actually stayed longer than we really was even supposed to. We couldn't really leave, you know what I'm saying? But salute to you and your family, bro.
I appreciate that, man. And I want to thank you all for coming. Nah, we talked offline, just about, my heart was definitely full on that day. I just appreciate my village, like so much. You guys are more than friends, but, like you guys are people that I look up to. So to have you guys in that space and celebrating me and my family, it means more than words.
You already know, bro. You already know. You there for us too, man. What was interesting, I hollered at your father-in-law, and I was telling him that I met him at Gray's baby shower.
Okay.
And he was like, really? I was like, yeah, because he was saying, he introduced himself. He was like, I was like, I know who you are, sir. You know what I'm saying? So that was cool. We just kicked it after that, we just kicked it for a little bit, man. I was sitting here, right? I was thinking to myself, like, I remember, we got a lot of people in common before me and you really locked in. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of people in common, right? And I remember when you was doing the stuff, y'all was painting, doing the stuff at the schools, and
yeah.
Around so we do the March for Peace. You come to the first March for Peace. That's when I first me and you really talked. You know what I'm saying? And then but then
that's around the same time that y'all had got locked in too, right?
Yeah, right around the same time. Yeah. And then shortly after that, you know what I'm saying, when me and Jess started, you know what I'm saying, got to know each other and shit, so you knew her, you know what I'm saying? So when she brought you up and she had been to your events, a lot of people don't know before. I mean, we'll get to the party side of Scooty. But what I wanted to start the interview at was people that only know you as Uncle Scooty don't really understand your contributions to the city from an education and a social standpoint.
No question.
And how some of you know, with you being the dean and you doing the stuff to help leverage your role, your alter ego impact to bring people that knew you from that into spaces that they wouldn't normally come into, to bring them into this world, whether it's beautification of a school or working with kids, and how at that same, you were part of the energy that also helped those same people started to show up for the things that we were doing.
That's a very good point.
You feel what I'm saying? All this stuff was sort of culminating at the same time, and in where a lot of people kind of caught that bug or even got more likely to participate in this, based on some of those events. So can you just talk to us a bit about, you know, your time as a dean, and then what made you start to say, damn, let me start to get some of these people that come to my parties to come and help me out on that side of the track?
Okay, so, you know, education, you know what I'm saying, like, has always been a huge thing for me. You know, I give credit, you know what I'm saying, like, to my stepmother for that, who came in my life at a very, very young age. And, you know, my dad, I was one of, you know what I'm saying, like, the few of my friends that had their father, you know what I'm saying, like a strong father figure in their lives. And we've had conversations about this before, you know, with my dad, when I played basketball and things like that. My dad would go to the different neighborhoods that we might have been living in at the time and would just bring everybody together. Like, you know what I'm saying, whoever was outside, if we was doing something that was worth being done, you know, whether it was playing in rec leagues, whether it was you going on trips or anything like that, my dad was the one who would, you know, in his own way, because he think he cool, but he would, in his own way, he would go pick those boys up, bring them, you know what I'm saying, like around to those enrichment type of opportunities. And I saw that and I started to understand it. You know what I mean? Like, we go to Toys R Us to go get a new basketball, and, you know, looking at the basketball signed by Michael Jordan, and I'm a huge Jordan fan, and, you know, that basketball is $45. And my father would say, you know, you can get that basketball, but also, you know, it's, you know, they got these basketballs over here in this bin, you know what I'm saying, you can get 6 of those for, you know, $5 a piece. That's $30, and you can get this bag for $15, and you can take it around the neighborhood, and now everybody got a basketball to play with instead of everybody fighting over one ball. And what I didn't understand was that was teaching me, you know, the gathering of people. It was teaching me education. It was teaching me, you know what I'm saying, multiple different lessons on different levels. And so by the time I got to about 10, 11 years old, I had already made it up in my mind that I was going to, you know, I was going to work in schools. I was going to do something with the community, and I was going to be, you know, the father figure, you know what I'm saying, for, you know, like that my father was for me, but the one, like, but so that my friends didn't have. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that makes sense. So, and I know we'll backtrack. You know, I ended up moving to PG County in middle of the school year, coming off of a really tough 2-3 years in my family. Multiple people murdered in my family, including my grandfather. And the city was on fire. And my dad was like, he had been through too much to get me and to get me where I was for it just to end flat like that. So there was a better opportunity for us. We picked up and moved immediately. And when I moved out to PG County, started going to Charles Carroll Middle School. There was a program to work with special needs kids. And
like your peers?
Younger kids.
Younger kids. Oh,
yeah,
okay,
so this was at the elementary school level. And I was all for it. So I went and I worked with, you know what I'm saying, like these special needs kids, you know, different, you know what I'm saying, wheelchair bound, you know, a lot of different situations like that. Sure. And, you know, from there, going to Parkdale High School, I was a 4-year child development major. So I worked My last 2 years, I interned at an elementary school working with special education kids. So this is always, like been the trajectory. Then, fast forward to college, I went to University of Maryland Eastern Shore. I was a secondary education major. A lot of people know I ended up failing out of school. I had my dibble and dabble, like in the streets. Then I moved to New Jersey to get my life back together. I started working as a security guard so that I could take classes for free. And then from there, 2.5 years, moved back to DC, 2007. There was an opportunity for me to substitute, and from a substitute position, moved into a full-time teaching position, fast track to administration, in-school suspension coordinator to dean of students. Started 6-7 different programs. From there, was able to utilize those programs and things like that as a not just a resume but a portfolio for me to get a job at Washington Latin. And I was there for 3 years, and then ultimately I retired in 2014 from the school system. Stopped doing that full time and started focusing on the creative career, but doing that part time, which I still do now to this day.
Sure. So you moved around a lot, right? Obviously in this region, but then also to New Jersey as well. And what I found in my observation of most people who moved around is either night or day. Either they become very much of a loner, or they really gravitate and create relationships really fast, right? It seems like you're the latter, right? You're able to build relationships really fast. Talk a bit about that skill set, and from the infancy of that development of that skill set to now, like your ability to be able to make relationships grow and to leverage relationships.
I want to say, that started off with it's both sides, It started off with my mom. When I was born, my dad was super young, and my mom she was a party animal. You know what I mean? Like, we had people over our house, like it was like parties every weekend. You know what I mean? Like, this is like back in the day, like if the porch light is white when there's a party, the porch light purple. You know what I'm saying? Like, let everybody know there's some shit happening. You know what I'm saying? This the house or whatever. And my mom didn't, she didn't hide us away or send us. My older sister, she's like a year, like 18 months older than I am. She didn't send us off to other people. It was like we was right in the midst of the shit. So, that was entertaining and talking to people, and all of those things just came natural when we were kids. And in the times that she did drop us off, because my mom was going through her own thing at that time, you couldn't be closed off, because you might be with people for 2, 3, 4, 5 days at a time, and when you need something, you needed to be able to communicate that. So that's on the one side. On my dad's side, he's the youngest of 9 kids. So my father, he in his early 20s, he depended on my uncles, to watch me a lot of times on the weekend, my aunts, which is the reason why I was always around different neighborhoods and things like that. So it just taught me, I'm always in a different situation, and I got to let people know who I am and, what I stand for, you know what I mean? So that's always been there, kind of like on both sides. But it was always, I never wanted to go into a place where I was making people feel uncomfortable in their own space. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I came to every situation as a friend. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to fuck up what you got going on. I'm just here trying to just enjoy the moment. Yeah. What's good with you? You good? You play basketball? Me too. You play football? Hey, I like football. You know what I mean? What music you listen to? Hey, I listen to that shit too.
Yeah, and in the time that we grew up in this city, that wasn't always, sort of the way people engaged, though, right? Mm-hmm. And like, how difficult was it for you to be that way in that time that we grew up, where people ain't really talk to dudes they ain't know, or we grew up in a time of dudes gritting, like that's just how it was. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And if you wasn't how did you disarm that? And you know what I mean? And how and learning to do that, or learning to make friends in such a aggressive time, you know, how do you utilize what skill set did that build that you use, like, you know, now, and the things that you do?
So first off, it's just being a good person, just being a nice person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm confident in myself enough where I'm never threatened by anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'ma automatically disarm you, because if you upset about something, I'm cooling. I may just want to know, hey, what you upset about, and how can I help this situation for us to be able to move forward, right? Yeah. And that's always, you know what I'm saying, like, been my case and my deal. And then, you know, because I was the person that, like, you like, oh man, you know, I could bring this nigga to my crib. I can introduce him to my mom. My mom probably like me hanging around a nigga like this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So then once I get in the house, you know what I'm saying, I'm you know what I'm saying, charismatic. I walk in the house, your mother, your father, they gonna love me, your aunt, your sister, everybody. So then I'm always invited back over. So now I done built that relationship with you. You feel comfortable enough to take me in any situation, because one, you know I'm about the shits if it come down to that, but I also ain't about to start no shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you good with me in any way, shape, or form. So when I come around, it's never a question about anything. So you just good. Yeah. I'm good, you good, and we good.
Yeah. That I think that plays out in a more clean way when it's not business involved, right? You go from growing up, building those relationships. You go from the experience with your dad showing you how to be a leader. You use that in the school system. Obviously, you're getting paid in the school system, right? But then you go into business in several different ventures, and now you're building relationships, but it's also money involved, right? So was there like a transition where you had to maybe like put a governor on that, or slow down a bit on relationship building, or change how you do that because money is involved at all?
So yes, there was a moment, you know, in time where I was straddling the fence, right? Because I'm building a successful career over here in education, but I also got all this stuff over here, and I was trying to keep them separate, right? I didn't want them to come together because I don't know how that's gonna play out, you know what I'm saying, like on either side. And, you know, when I was able to leverage them and make them run parallel, you know what I'm saying, you start to understand that the things, it's the exact same, you know what I'm saying, like, it's the exact same realm. You know what I'm saying, like, because you're getting paid, you know what I'm saying, working at the school too. You know what I'm saying, like, and then you had this over here. It's the exact same thing, bro. Exact same thing.
I remember, right, the first time I came to one of your parties at Rock Creek Social Club, Joe. I don't know where I saw you at, and you was like, man, you on there, you gotta come to one of these. I'm like, all right, man, that ain't really my speed.
Sure, he was still growing.
Nah, but because he telling me, this is the thing though, he telling me, nah, we don't do no bottle. I remember this vividly. We don't do no bottle service, man. We don't do nothing. This he saying to me, like, I'm like, yeah, but that's what I do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? At that time, I'm thinking like, well, shit, why I want to come to that, right? When he saying it to me, he thinking like that's gonna make me be like, damn, okay, that's my type of spot. But I had never really been to one of the Jones, right? But I forgot who I was with. But anyway, it's the joint right across from where Joe's at now.
Recess,
on 15th Street. Yeah. You know, I'm calling good money. I remember this. So I come in the joint. Let me go down the little joint. You know what I'm saying? And I never forget how much of a good time I had. You know what I'm saying? Like, just really had a good time. It was kind of like, but the crowd was very interesting to me, and not so much like, it was just different. It was people in there that I just never, you know what I'm saying, was not either in the spots that I was in at that time, and definitely them wasn't the people like that was going to the go-go and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or for the most part, you know what I mean? Or the go-go's I was in, put it that way. But what I experienced and would continue to, like, at that time too in my life, my world, I was evolving and my world was opening up more. You understand what I'm saying? And the whole idea of like this was the time of like this same time period I'm talking about with the March for Peace and us starting to be a little more recognizable around activism, that kind of thing. Saying all that to say, and I grew to like really enjoy pulling up to them events. Can you talk a bit about the origin of that concept, and like as you explained to me, creating something other, finding that niche. Like it's a group of people that wasn't either at Park or Love Park, whatever, or Lima, or whatever was popping at that time that had became sort of this, or the Go-Go, right? It was this group of people that was now in this city that wanted something different. How did you arrive there? And what made you want to create a space for that, for those folks?
So when I came back from Jersey, I'm full-fledged, like in the creative community at this point. I had started my first clothing line. I had bought it back to DC.
And what part of Jersey you was in?
I was in Newark.
Okay, you was in Newark. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Newark, South Orange, East Orange, because I had moved a lot up there too.
Okay.
But North Jersey, like, and I would go back and forth, to like New York and things like that. So I understood this whole culture that they had built up there, and I was like, man, like we need to do some shit like that at home. So when I moved back in 2007, I had already kind of started planting seeds, going to different parties. Like we would be at Cafe Asia with Mitch and them, First Fridays and all of that type of thing or whatever. And I was doing a couple of events. I used to do a cookout for my birthday. Same way I do a big thing for my birthday this year. I used to do cookouts at this park by the 94th Aero Squadron.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes. So what's the name? So I was already kind of doing stuff, right? But I was doing it amongst, like the community of people that I knew. And I already knew a bunch of people from moving all over and going over all these different people's houses and stuff like that. So I already had a crowd. But other than my birthday, I wasn't really leveraging, like that influence at all. Not for no monetary, like reasons. And, then as social media started evolving and different things like that, now it's opening up, like a different set of people that I didn't know that admired me for different reasons. They might be just strictly in the creative community and they fuck with me because of that. It might be people, that's just from the go-go. So I'm like, damn, now we go back to the being Scooty and being the dean, right? Where I'm like straddling both sides of the fence. And I needed to figure out a way to kind of, make those things run parallel so that at some point they would run together. And, Jerome, like 2007 to 2010, I was just kind of out here doing a bunch of different things. And it was Jerome, my business partner, Jerome Baker, it was his idea for us to formulate this conglomerate of like-minded individuals that come from different backgrounds to create this thing called Rock Creek Social Club. And we actually came up with the name because all of us had lived in different parts of the city, and the only thing that we had in common was Rock Creek Park. So that's where the name came from. People didn't know that. We started with this party at Recess, and it was the first of its kind where you got the dude that worked on Capitol Hill standing next to the dude that grew up in D.C., next to the hood hipster who got the skinny jeans and the beat-up Vans, and we showed you what similarities you all had, and then took all of everything else just out the room, right? And so everybody let their guard down. So the same thing that you just brought up and me going to these different neighborhoods and you talk about unarming people, I was doing that in a very small capacity. So when we started Recess, this was me doing it in a larger capacity and understanding how to monetize.
But with intentions, that's clear.
Yeah, for sure, with intent. I mean, the intention was, like DC was pretentious at that time. Like a nigga like me could get in any club at any time. But when I'm coming with my friends, they like, nah, like we got them. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going in without my people. They're like, nah, man, go ahead, Scooty, man, we got them. I'm like, nah, I'm not going in without my people. They're like, man, nah, we got them. Then they get in, they like, man, I paid $40, I paid $60. I'm like, man, why you pay $46? They like, man, talking about we got on sneakers. And I go back out there, like, man, you charge my people. Like, man, he got on sneakers. I'm like, nigga, I got on sneakers. They like, yeah, but you Scooty. I'm like, nigga, but if a rule is a rule, it should apply to everybody, even me. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, what are we doing? And those same people who, I always like to call, you know what I'm saying, the difference between who we were and who the pretentious crowd where uptown and downtown, right? Like, niggas come uptown and steal all of, like, the culture and the vibe and everything, and then take it back downtown into their little clubs, but then tell us we can't get in. Y'all ain't spending enough money. Y'all ain't, you know what I'm saying? Niggas will look you in your face at the door 100 times over and won't never let you in. Let 20, 30,000 motherfuckers in before they let you in. That shit didn't sit right with me. They didn't treat me like that, but because of who I am, who I was, who I am, that shit was never going to fly with me. So when Jerome came with the opportunity, I was all for it, just because it was everything that I stood for. And when we did it, we didn't know that it was going to hit the way that it did, but that motherfucker jumped off. And now we had those same people that wouldn't let us in the club. Now they coming to our party from 10 to 12, popping bottles at our shit before they go to their own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To go discriminate again.
But when I said the uptown downtown shit, they coming to see what we doing, because they wondering why it's raining outside and we got a line down the block and we ain't even open yet, and dead people ain't showing up till 1 o'clock if they show up at all.
Yeah, y'all created a space. I mean, I think that is what they show to me, you know, and like it introduced me to the reality of that there was that group, that like the hipster person you talking about, or I ain't know what no hipster was. You dig what I'm saying? Like it's just like there were people here in the city that I didn't interface with. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? But I was maybe a person or people. The profile that I represented was also probably a segment of the population that they didn't necessarily interface with, right?
To be clear, we all were. None of us. I didn't. You got Jerome. Jerome is from Arizona, and he went to Hampton, then he moved to DC. He started working at Commonwealth. I met him because I was in the fashion community. I'm in the creative community. You had Sonya. I didn't know Sonya growing up. I didn't know Lamine growing up. I definitely didn't know Modi growing up. Because me and Jerome, we were older than they were.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? By many, many years. And you know, there was nothing, you know what I'm saying, that brought us together other than, you know what I'm saying, like our similarities and stuff like that. Because we all coming from, you know what I'm saying, like different backgrounds.
Yeah.
I want to stop there for a minute, right? Because what I've been thinking about this whole time is, again, us knowing you off camera. Like, you were and you still are a super go-go head, right?
For sure.
At that time when you were making that transition into like career stuff and business stuff, that was you coming off of a period where you were literally in the go-go like every night, right? And the average person that had that mindset to be in that space, they weren't thinking about what you're thinking about creating with Rock Creek Social, right? And I think a lot of times we put handcuffs on ourselves, right? Like this is what I know, this is what I've been doing, I'm not doing nothing different, I ain't with no out-of-town people, I'm not with no downtown activity. But from a person who was in the go-go 6-7 nights a week and then to go to that, like, did you have to have any internal conversations like, this is not what I'm used to? Like,
nah, bro. Like, we going to go all over the place, but I'm poke my chest out, and I'm gonna be, you know what I'm saying, like, tell y'all the honest truth about a lot of stuff, bro. Like, at one point in time, and we talked about this before, at one point in time in my life, dog, I was homeless, like living like couch to couch, right? And I always tell people when I tell my story, specifically the kids, I tell them, man, even in the summertime, it get cold when you feel like you by yourself or you feel like you alone. I never wanted to feel like I was alone, so I'm not shying away from no situation. You know what I'm saying? If people, if they cool, they not trying to do nothing to hurt me or hurt my family or any type of, man, I'm open. If you try to party and have a good time, me too.
Yeah.
I'm not going
That makes
I
sense.
want to be amongst the people, bro, because I know what it's like to, you know what I'm saying, to be nowhere. So I'm trying to be everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, and also, you know, we talk about, you know, all this stuff is coming full circle. We talk about moving around and doing all these different type of things and stuff like that, bro. I don't have one part of my life that I'm segmented to, bro. I'm a person that, bro, I like a lot of different things. Yeah. And I stand on those things, whether people like them or not. You know what I'm saying? This is who I am. This is what the fuck I like. You know what I'm saying? And if you with it, I'm with it too. Like, man, come on, let's party.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I used to listen to rock music, you know what I'm saying, when I was a kid. I was one of them kids, I had cable. You know what I'm saying? Lived in my grandma's house, I got cable. We was watching MTV and Aerosmith and Guns N' Roses and all that. Huh?
I said Poison and all that.
Yeah, Poison and all that, man.
Yeah,
Def Leppard and all that. Yeah, we was listening to, man, we was listening to everything, bro. And all that shit hit to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was live instrumentation and stuff like that. So now when people, you know what I'm saying, you get into these rooms where you think that, you know what I'm saying, like, or a person might see me, they might think I don't know about that shit, and I do. They're like, oh, man, this nigga cool.
Right.
And here we are, bro.
Nah, yeah, I understand that. I think sometimes, you know, it's just, you know, one of the things that in terms of when we doing these interviews and trying to get to the, you know, the bullseye and like what drive people, like what their genius is. Sometimes too, I think it'd be, so you know, it's certain things that, you know, that a person may have, right? That it ain't even, you may not always even know is a bevy of things that led to you being who you are and being able to connect with people from various backgrounds and stuff, right? But with that being said, at what point though did you? Because sometimes you just being Scooty, right? But at what point did you realize, right? Even like you just explaining sort of the advent of Rock Creek Social, and then how we're gonna do this party, and then it boom, it hit. You said, yeah, I didn't think it was gonna hit like that. All right. After it started to hit, at what point did you say, okay, not only do we have something as a collective, but for you, right? What point did you start saying, and I know you did mention you was trying to, you know, sort of have two separate, a day life and a nightlife, right? And so once those things, when you figured out how those things could maybe mesh, you said in 2017, you said you retired? 2014, you retired. At that point, to me, I'm hearing that's when you decided, okay, I can go forward completely into the creative space. What was there one thing, or what were the couple things that made you take that leap? And I would assume that it revolved around you realizing I got something.
It was when they gave me the motherfucking mic, dog.
Yeah.
When they gave me the mic, bro, because you can have a conversation one-on-one with somebody, and you can have a conversation with 5 people. When they gave me that motherfucking mic, Jerome was like, bro, somebody has to get on the mic so that we can transition from one DJ to the other. And when I actually spoke that was the first time I had ever done that shit. And when I spoke on the mic, the way that my voice projected, I was like, damn. And I knew Jerome's set because I would go see him play so much. We kind of just went hand in hand, and I watched how the crowd reacted to it and the control that I had in the room. That was like the first thing, right? Then it was like time would go on, and then I'm starting to build a brand unintentionally. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it used to be hot as fuck in the DJ booth. You got the monitors, you got everybody want to be near the DJ booth, around the DJ booth. It was hot as shit. And so I would take my shirt off because I'd be sweating through my shirt. And I'm like, man, I'm just hot. I'd take my shirt off, and then I would do that shit every party. And then sometimes I would go outside to get air, and I would still have no shirt on, and it'd be like 40 below outside. So then when people would be outside trying to get in the party, they see that, and it's like, man, hey, party don't get started till that nigga Scooty come out his shirt.
Right.
And then they started saying it. So then I was like, damn, we need to put that in rotation. And then some of the things that I would say during certain points of the party became like a cadence for me. And then people started taking those, and then we would put them on flyers as taglines. There's a lot of clubs in DC, but it's only one party. I used to say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that was, you know what I'm saying, like that was a moment. And then, you know, I know we're going to get into this, but, when we collaborated with Broccoli City to create Broccoli City Festival, that was the first time in my life that I looked out. And that crowd, I think first year we did, I want to say like 4,000 people or something like that. That was the first time that I had ever looked out into a crowd and seen like all my friends.
I was going. That's my next question. Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
When I seen that, I was like, oh, they fucked up.
Yeah.
They done fucked up, because now it's so much notoriety with coming from being on that stage that now we clothing deals, shoe deals, you know what I'm saying? Like now I'm going to places, you know what I'm saying? I've always been popular and cool my whole life, but now I'm going to places where I can't even sit down while motherfuckers come up to me. Scooty, what's up, man? What's up, man? Hey, bro, dope party. Hey, when y'all doing this? When y'all doing that? And I'm walking into, which I know you want to get to, now I'm walking into, you know what I'm saying, like situations where, man, they opening the door so I walk in. They like, man, nigga, whatever you want. If you coming in here, we know they coming with you. So what do we need to get this deal done? How can we do something with you? How can we build some sort of partnership? How can we, you know what I'm saying, like do some sort of event? How can we get you the host? How can we get you? And then you're watching how people are also trying to separate you, right? Because promoters, they wanted to get Rock Creek, and you couldn't get Rock Creek because we were very protective of the brand. But they would do things like, oh, we're gonna book Jerome, and then we're gonna book Scooty, and we're gonna book Spencer Tracy without telling them. And now we already locked into a deal. So now you seeing all of these. It was a switch up between 2010 and 2013. It was a switch up, and that in my mind was like, oh yeah, like we got something here, and I need to start thinking bigger.
Yeah. So you addressed, you know, being in front of a large crowd. So we can come back to that. But what you just said, you're right. I wanted to get to this. You've also done a really good job with partnerships and sponsorships and monetizing the brand of Scooty, right? And I think that people now in 2024 that are leveraging their social, trying to get to that point where, hey, look at me. I'm a person that you can partner with. How can I make this thing turn into money? Walk us through your mindset when you see a product or service that you like, and you know that you can bring that service or product to another level, but you want to let them know that come with a cost too.
Mm-hmm. So I think that it's all in, you know what I'm saying, like paying attention to the rooms that you in. You got to be intentional about everything. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you starting to move in this lane, right? You're no different than the people that you see on TV. It's no difference in me being on this camera right now, and if it's a Gatorade bottle on the table, the same way Kawhi Leonard put that shit on the ground because they not paying him, I'm going to do the exact same thing because I understand what my value is. My value might not be as much as his to certain brands, but certain brands that make sense for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can leverage that. And when I would walk in, you know what I'm saying, like into these rooms, I just would pay attention. Pay attention. You doing a party and you looking behind the bar and they putting more bottles of Patron out or more bottles of Don Julio out than they putting anything else. Like, why y'all doing that? Man, that's all y'all crowd be drinking. I said, shit, if that's all they drinking, I said, them niggas need to be paying me. Mm-hmm. And my mentor Kareem Latif, he was the one who started the whole entire influencer campaigns and things like that, which kind of opened up my eyes even more. And when I started to travel outside of the city and I started meeting people that were just like me, and I understood that they, man, like even though they, you know, they may have 50,000 more followers than I am, I understood that there was the market that they were in, right? People from LA and New York, whatever, they could put up the same shit I put up and they're gonna get more likes no matter what because of where they are. And they got access to parties and events and things like that, and a lot of companies are there and things like that, right? But when you meet these people, they just like you, right? So then when I started figuring that shit out, I said, man, I called Kareem. At this time I'm a Don Julio ambassador. I said, man, I'm going out to LA for the first time, and you know, I don't know how, you know, like if this is off the cuff or like, you know, I don't know, but you guys think y'all could sponsor my birthday party in LA? He was like, man, let me make a call. He was like, okay. Made a call, put me in contact with the people, that we had been working with. And I threw my party in LA. This before people was drinking 42, man. We had Supper Club on fire.
Yeah.
And I had about 20 people with me, like that had came, that had came out there with me. So now, I'm looking at it like, oh shit, like this like a real thing. And it ain't just something, like that I gotta stay in DC to do. Like we could go anywhere.
Yeah. Exposure and knowledge is important, isn't it, man?
Education, experience, and exposure. Those are 3 keys to success. I always say that.
It's just knowing, because sometimes and DC can be very, it can limit your worldview, if you will, in that way. And some of the, and how did those experiences like that, right? Being okay, you talking about you get the Don Julio, to sponsor your birthday party. All right, so what happens next? What's the next thing that? Okay, damn, you say I called Kareem, he hooked me up with, I did that. So did that make you? What did that make you say? Now that put you in a different mode. Like, okay, now we can leverage.
I'm tapping in with the people that are just like me, and now I'm understanding like how easy that shit is.
Let me ask you a question on that. Coming from here, a lot of times you be feeling like people not like us, right? And we talked about your ability. I ain't calling you a chameleon, but you attract you can people don't feel like you not like them. So I see that in like the skill set that you built as a kid. Now you talking about how you were implementing it as in your work and as an adult. So when you because I don't know if people give you enough credit for being that person that a lot of times people meet people for. I can say that I feel like I've been somebody that's been that way, where people respect me, right? But they don't opt to partner with me for whatever reason. I don't know if it's because but you've been able to have people be willing to say, nah, bruh from DC, but I'm a build with him. And I ain't saying for me that happens all the time, because I've also built with a lot of people. But you get what I'm.
I think it's sometimes, you know what I mean. Like it doesn't happen like that all the time. I think that there is a certain level of respect there, but I feel like people don't give me my flowers because I don't give myself my flowers. You know what I mean? Like I always say, this dude I had used to come to all my parties or whatever like that, and he used to say this shit to me every time. He's like, man, they waiting for you. They waiting for you. And I talked to you about this. Man, they waiting for you. I'm like, what the fuck do that mean? He's like, bro, take a seat at the head of the table, bruh. He said, man, you in the room, you lollygagging, and you walking around, and people coming in, and they sitting down at the table, and you go, you know what I'm saying, having conversations with them. They waiting for you, cuz. He like, when you gonna really like take your place? You bullshitting. And when I started thinking about that, that's when I started changing things up about myself. And that's when, you know what I'm saying, more opportunities started to come. Now, as far as some of the other things that you know what I'm saying, like I've been able to do, we just got to call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of that don't really be about me. It'll be about them. You know what I'm saying? Where a nigga need me to validate them in certain situations, or it's something that is going to benefit them. They'll make it seem like it's something, you know what I'm saying, like for the both of us, but a lot of times it's not. Most of the things that have benefited me directly are things, you know what I'm saying, like that moments that I've created, you know what I'm saying, like through maximizing on opportunities and paying attention to the room and going, you know what I'm saying, outside of my bubble to go meet people in all these different places, you know what I'm saying, where now I can move comfortably in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I know Joe. I can text him. You know what I'm saying? I can go to LA because I've spent time there, where I've even almost lived by coastal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I'm comfortable, you know what I'm saying? But those are situations that I created. You know what I'm saying? That I made. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, you know what I'm saying, like the stuff here is, man, I'm just going to call it a spade a spade. A lot of it is just, man, how can people, you know what I'm saying, like leverage. You know what I'm saying? And then I got to look at it like, you know, if you know what I'm saying, if people can't use you, then you useless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah. You grow through it. I mean, you know, any of things, whether they become sour or sweet, I feel like we grow from it. It prepares us for, you know, whatever the next thing. Like, what do you feel like, as far as the whether it's Don Julio Ambassador, the Jameson partnership, Die Stars Monday, we talked about Rock Creek Social Club, which y'all had merch. I mean, these things some things are commonplace now, right? But that stuff wasn't so common, you know. When
it wasn't, we made it cool. We made it cool, and I'm always, you know what I'm saying, like I'm always say we, because obviously I'm here doing the interview, but you know what I'm saying, like there's no, you know what I'm saying, like everything has always been, you know what I'm saying, a team effort. At our highest, or at the highest of highs, Rock Creek Social Club was a team of 14. You know what I mean? So there were a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, like who poured into, you know what I'm saying, like those moments to make them what they were. Whether, you know what I'm saying, like it was their ideas, concepts, and things like that that we were able to take and run with, or even, you know what I'm saying, like them putting me in a position to, you know what I'm saying, like to get us through the door so that everybody else could be there too.
Sure. You jive was with the gentrified. It's like, no, I'm
here you go.
You jive was but hear me out. For real, cause you listen, this is the thing. That time period, like them, like it's I mean, for real, but demonstrating, right? The people from here, the people that like a motherfucker who was in number 2, that you could be a part of this new Washington that at that time a lot of natives was feeling like, man, it ain't nothing for us, or we can't go in there. So I'm being
they didn't know, because we talked a few episodes ago about the wall. We
Facts.
talked about the wall, like,
and it's the one that still exists.
Yeah,
I mean, let's be honest about it, right?
Yeah,
so that's I was being facetious, but in a way, what I'm saying is,
I agree though.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You ain't gotta. I agree, because I think that there are benefits, you know what I'm saying, like to both sides. And I think that, like, for me, you know what I'm saying, like they talk about, you'll say you on the airplane, you know what I'm saying, like you gotta take care of yourself before you take care of, you know what I'm saying, whoever's next to you, right?
Sure.
My thing is that I had my come to Jesus moment that I had, you know what I'm saying, when they gave me the microphone, I was up there, but it was a short time span, right? Because my come to Jesus moment was, it ain't about me, it's about the next person. So now you gotta go out and you gotta go get the resources that they don't have here. You gotta become the OG that you never had. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got into fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was nobody doing, like, runway fashion, cut and sew, and manufacturing and all that type, you know what I'm saying, shoe deals and all of these things. Nobody was doing those things. You know what I'm saying? Nobody that we could see. You know what I'm saying? So I had to go do that. Yeah. But when I bought the stuff back, what a lot of people don't understand is I was telling a story, bro. Bro, when you came to the W Hotel joint, when I did the renditions of all the monuments, right? Sure. Bro, people on the surface level was like, "Oh man, that was cool." But the story behind that was I was trying to sell T-shirts for $70, and I was trying to explain to people the quality and the craftsmanship that went into these garments. And I said, dog, it's just like the monuments in DC. I said, for a person that don't live in DC or ain't never been here, the Washington Monument in the picture might look like the middle finger or the pencil or whatever you may think of. But when you up on it, 14th Street, 16th Street, you like, oh shit, that's the monument. I was trying to tell the same thing with the clothes. Yeah. When I started manufacturing in LA, I went to these industrial warehouses and things like that, and I'm seeing them, you know, these huge washing machines where they doing 5,000 pairs of jeans at one time and you know what I'm saying? I'm like, how can I teach the people back in DC? Maurice Electric, we did the dry cleaner.
Yeah, the joint. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been telling, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been telling the stories, bro. I've been teaching.
Speaking of teaching, you also leveraged bringing in industry people into the school system.
For sure.
Talk a little bit about that, because I mean, I think it's one thing to create businesses and to tell the story in the effort to sell a shirt, but you went beyond telling a story for monetary reasons. You really were giving back and still are.
For sure.
In the school system.
For sure. I mean, obviously, you know what I'm saying, you got to feed your family, right? You know what I'm saying? So you're going to do that. But you know what I'm saying? But my life's work, you know what I'm saying, like is the kids. The kid that I was, the kids that I used to talk to and I used to see. So if we don't have anything here, if those type of resources for that kid who might want to go do that, or might want to listen to rock and roll and want to play the instrument like that, but not play go-go, like they should still have that option. You know what I'm saying? But if they don't have it here, how they gonna get it if I don't go get it and bring it to them?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So some people might say, you know what I'm saying, the gentrification and whatever like that, and I may have opened up the door for some people to come here to DC and, oh man, you should have tapped on with this brand from here, or you should have did this, or you should have did that. Nigga, that's your story, and that's what you should have did. I did what I knew what was right. I knew who I was as a kid, and me not having that education, experience, and exposure, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want the young me to be sitting there trying to figure that shit out too, and gotta fall flat on his face until you figure it out. I'm gonna make sure that he has that. So if I got access to these people and I can bring them to the city, why wouldn't I? You know what I'm saying? We always talk about,
we not a monolith too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the
yeah. And it's also, you know what I'm saying, we talk about, you know what I'm saying, like these brands, you know what I'm saying, like how we claim these brands. Like we talk about New Balance stuff. When I went to the joint, the New Balance did, right? I went and talked to the dudes. I said, y'all playing into a narrative where we claiming some shit that we don't even own. I said, we out here arguing with Baltimore and New York about who started New Balance, and they ain't done shit for us. So I'm the nigga that's in them rooms and being like, man, y'all niggas need to do more. And if I gotta be the person, you know what I'm saying, that y'all, you know what I'm saying, that y'all utilize to be able to bring something here, then that's fine. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I take it on the chin if you know what I'm saying, if I got to for the betterment of, you know what I'm saying, like the people, so that this one or two kid that get to see that, you know what I'm saying, like he understand that, bro, it's not far-fetched. You could do it too. Yeah. And I hate to use a term like that because it's so, you know what I'm saying, but it's so cliche, but it's real, bro. Everything is at an arm's reach, bro. It is, and the internet and all these things make it seem so unattainable, but that's a lie, bro. I have done a lot. God forbid I walk out here, you know what I'm saying, and fall flat on my face right after we finish this interview, bro. My heart is full, bro. I've done a lot of shit that I ain't think I could do, that people told me that I couldn't do. I became a dean of students and I never graduated from college, bro. I got kicked out of school. You know what I'm saying? That's real. Started programs from scratch. I didn't read it in a book. I saw what made sense and I made it happen. When I started doing the fashion and the creative thing, I saw the need, I saw the void, and I filled the void. And I took the backlash from whoever, you know what I'm saying, because they didn't feel like I did it the right way, or because they felt like I should have included this person or whatever. I took all that on the chin, bro. Pause.
Nah, I'm playing.
Nah, for sure. For sure. No Diddy.
Nah, I don't want to jump in. I don't want to jump in, right? But I want to ask an additional question to what you was just saying, though. Die Stars Monday, not the clothing line yet, but just talking about the space.
So the clothing line came before the space.
Okay, but I ain't talking about the clothing line yet though. Hold on, just the space though, right? Just the space, and I want to tie that to also like to Sandlot, right, too, as well, right? But the idea of, and because I've seen this term pop up, it's become synonymous now. It's not rare, right? But talk a bit about, because Die Stars Monday as a space was a pop-up. And the first time, I'm not saying it's the first time it happened, but it's the first time that I heard that term and I saw something that was supposed to be like a 90-day window expand. So can you just talk about that situation?
So I'm going to go ahead and take credit. I bought the pop-up here to DC. First pop-up I did was in 2007, and I did it in the back of Ben's Chili Bowl when I had a clothing line, Hofe, with Kyrie and Brandon.
I remember that.
And
what was it called?
Hofe.
Hofe. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Kyrie, Bombay, Kawan, and Brandon. And we had a pop-up at Ben's Chili Bowl called What You Been Waiting For. Came up with the name and everything. And we dressed up as soup kitchen line workers in our own little dress. Everybody dressed different, but still dressed in suit. And then we sold the clothes out of chafing dishes. Prior to that, we had, I forgot, the matter of fact, before the Ben Chili Bowl joint, District 51 used to be a store that was on Georgia Avenue. We did Deep in the District Volume 2 or something like that with Ian, where Scion sponsored
The car.
the car company.
Okay.
They would, you know what I'm saying, putting a lot of money behind creatives. And then we ended up doing a pop-up on Georgia Avenue. It was kind of crazy, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. We had Kool-Aid, chicken, and watermelon.
Oh, that's crazy.
That was more crazy.
That's
Hey,
crazy.
bruh. Thinking about it back then, I was like, yeah, like let's do it. But now I'm like, man,
that was wild.
But
Yeah,
so it started back then, and then you know what I'm saying, like it led up where I've done, you know what I'm saying, pop-ups, which I mentioned the W Hotel, all of these different things. Now when it came to diet, after coming from the trade shows in Vegas and seeing a lot of different brands do pop-ups and do installations and things like that, all of that shit inspires me as an artist. And you know what I'm saying, that's why I do all of the different activations here. And I always wanted to open up a store. I always wanted to open up a restaurant. And obviously I already had the link to, you know what I'm saying, like the alcohol, spirits lane or whatever. And I was in New York. I was at Obsidy Crib actually, and it was Fashion Week. And I came home twisted after this party. I go to her crib. I'm like, yo, man, you ain't got no, I can order some food or something? She like, yeah, man, order from this diner. It's really good. I said, all right, I ordered the food. Man, I eat the food. I said, dang, this is the best diner food I ever had. I went to sleep for like an hour, man, and I had a dream, and I woke up, and I called my partners at the time, John and Davin, and I said, listen, bro, diet starts Monday. Retail, restaurant, bar. I said, we're not going to just open up a clothing store. We're going to build this brand around every aspect of it. We're going to do super gluttonous food. At that time, I knew Jordan was home because he was fucking with TD when he first started.
Jordan, good man.
When he first started the Victory brand, and there was an opportunity for me to, you know what I'm saying, to tap a chef, you know what I'm saying, who had the experience to be able to do a menu like that. And then we already had, you know what I'm saying, like the spirits category already covered. All we need to do was get the clothes. So they like, man, I don't know, man. Like, well, where we going to find a space at? Well, because of the success of Rock Creek Social Club and it being at Marvin, the doors and how everything makes sense, they gave us the space next door. And they like, listen, we're going to run this as a pop-up. And I said, nah, but you got to let me have it first. And they said they were going to let us sublease, and then they were going to also let us use their liquor license. So I like a perfect world. And then I went to sponsors who have been giving us, you know, monetary, you know what I'm saying, like partnerships and things like that, where if, let's say $15,000, right, for 10 events, that's $1,500 per event. I would go to them and say, well, look, I'm about to open up a space for 3 months, 4 days a week for 3 months. If you gave me $15,000 on this, what's this worth to you? And I'm going to sell all your products, not just one brand, but all of the brands. And they were like, well, shit, that's worth, you know, X, Y, and Z. And I just started doing it for every complimentary brand. So if one was spirits, you know, then we needed beer. And then from beer, then we needed, you know, Red Bull. And from Red Bull, we needed, you know, Pepsi and all these different things. And I had already understood, you know what I'm saying, like the lane, because I had been doing it for so long. You talking now, at this point, 2007 to 2017, we opened up. I've been doing this shit for 10 years at this point. So it was a no-brainer. We opened up, no money in our pocket whatsoever. We had spent everything on samples and doing activation in Vegas and everything. And I was like, nah, we're gonna do it. And we did. And then after 3 months, because we had done so well, I leveraged it so that we could stay closed for a month while we were trying to decide what we were going to do. And I went back to those same sponsors and said, well, here's the success story. If you still want to be a part of this, you got to pay me more money, or I'm just going to take these numbers and I'm going to go to another brand and see if they believe in what I'm doing. And that pop-up for 3 months ended up being 2 years.
Yeah. So follow me for a minute, all right? So Tone made the joke about gentrifiers, right? He also talked about his experience in Recess Rock Creek Social Club. So I got a statement first, and I'm gonna make a question. My statement is that back when Rock Creek Social Club was going on, I really thought in my mind, from where I sat, that it was a club. That people were actually members, because I know you guys had 14 people working on it, but it felt as if people really had a membership. And so they moved to the same beat, the same drum that you guys were playing. And no matter where y'all went, from Marvin to wherever, people were really following y'all, and they knew what to expect when they went to your events. You just said 2007 to 2017, and even now, 2024 with Sandlot. People's lives have changed as a result of those events.
For sure.
But their lives have also changed, right? They now have children. Some are now married, right? How does the events that you throw and this sort of club, how do you adjust and make events friendly for people whose lives have changed in that way over the last 17 years?
Man, everything goes back to, what I started with, what I'm saying, like just being a good person. When you're a good person, you can read people and you understand what their situation is. So the dude who was grinning and I understood that, now I understand, what I'm saying, like, because I'm also, what I'm saying, like a parent, I understand you as a parent. So now, because I understand, now I know exactly what it is that you need, and I know how to facilitate those things. And I think that we do a good job. We've always done a good job of making people feel like they some sort of ownership in it, where it wasn't a members only type of thing. But I will always say, I think I said this to you when we talk. I said, bro, when you come in here, if ain't nobody by that table, you can stand on that shit. I don't care.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like this show. We not putting up no ropes. We not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what we do. You know what I'm saying?
It seems as if too, like y'all, the approach of your events too, though, to the person that has been along the 17-year run, right? Mm-hmm. For that person, right, who may have kids, us, whatever the case may be, but it's also appealing to, somebody 25.
Yeah, I got kids that I've worked with. They now party at my parties with, people. It's about making everybody feel welcome and you feel some sort of ownership in it. I've seen people bring other friends and talk about the party or the event, whatever, as if it's theirs. Yeah. They talk about me as if I'm their brother.
Yeah, because I remember you and I were together on, I guess, one of our walks, and you talked about, I think y'all had like a brunch where people could bring their kids, and y'all had the waffle machine and all that. And I think it was I thought we was talking about that one time. There was something going on like on a Saturday morning or something, and the kids were watching cartoons or something like that. You remember that? I'm tripping.
Yeah, you tripping.
He loved waffles. So.
Maybe waffles.
It wasn't. I mean, I can't.
It was something that happened where y'all had like a quick. It wasn't even like a planned thing, but like people showed up with their kids and y'all pulled the waffle makers out or something like that. I remember that.
I don't remember. I don't think that. I ain't going. Nah. But we've done. You know what I'm saying? Like we've done.
Hold up, Scooty. We talked about the cartoons and all. This was on one of our walks. I can't let this go. We talked about the cartoons and all that.
Cartoons and waffles.
Cartoons and waffles.
Hey, that might be.
That might be the new joint, though.
Maybe I had a dream too, right?
Yeah. Waffles and cartoons,
might be something we might have to do. Do as Sandlot. Nah, never. But you know what I'm saying. But we have, you know what I'm saying. Like we've evolved. You know what I'm saying. The evolution is, you know what I'm saying. Like Sandlot, where it is family friendly. You know what I'm saying. Like everybody has brought their kids. You know what I'm saying, to Sandlot. You know what I'm saying. You might walk into Sandlot right now, and you might see Gray behind the bar. You know what I'm saying. Like
I had Molly with me one time in Sandlot.
I know what's saying, and he was filling. Was Molly there at the time? What's saying was filling up the popcorn thing for her and gave her some popcorn.
And she was playing. She was playing. What's the Jenga with this lady?
Yeah, yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So that you know what I'm saying. Like that's the evolution of it all. So we might not have been doing, you know what I'm saying, like waffles, but to your point, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like it has evolved. You know what I'm saying. Like into that where as we grow older. And our circumstances change, you know what I'm saying? Like the events in the party, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of change with it. The dynamic of it changed. Mm-hmm. But we still stay true to, you know what I'm saying, the essence of where we come from, which still attracts that 24, 25, 26-year-old.
Yeah, like I mean, going to some of the stuff at Sandlot or whatever, like the Pepsi jump y'all had with Pusha was there. Yeah. You know, and watching that crowd, or like at times with the grilled cheese social, you know, like I mean, I know y'all still do that to a certain degree, but I'm talking about like when them jumps was in Marvin's. One of them times, probably one of the top 5 parties I've been to a lot of parties. It was one, I don't even know what year this was, bro, but it was in Marvin's though. It was like one of them first or second grilled cheese at Marvin's. And I remember because this was like when Drug Dealer Anonymous first came out. And Jerome, I don't know if he saw me and put it over, but he played that joke like twice.
We used to when Jerome, when we would see you coming to the club, when we would see you walking in the recess or any party that we did, Jerome, I want to say he would purposely switch over to Jay-Z because we knew how much you like Jay-Z.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. I appreciate you. I'm telling you, I never forget that Drug Dealer Anonymous joke.
That's that Hampton effect. We know we got that touch.
Yeah, full slim and man.
No, but it speaks to the point that you made, like understanding your, like you feel like you're a part of it. When you walk in, it's like, okay, there go Tony, man. Yeah. Put that new J on, right? Yeah. We did Tabby Benet's birthday party one year, and I said, man, what you want to drink? I'm gonna get you a bottle. He said, man, I don't drink. Jerome said, what Tabby want to drink? I said, man, he don't drink. He said he just want like a Coke or something. He was like, man. I said, man, I got it. He said, well, I said, man, I'm about to go to CVS. He said, for what? I said, man, I'm about to go get him 3 2-liter Cokes. So when we bought the bottles out, it was 3 2 liters of Coke sitting in ice. So you were intentional about, you know what I'm saying?
You know, I like Pepsi. Why you ain't do that?
Oh man, that's against your diet, man. Yeah, man. You know you ain't doing no Pepsis, man. Yeah, we got you, man. We got you with a Pepsi and a Uncle Carl sub.
Yeah. Can all right. Perfect segue to my next question, right? And I don't want to limit in terms of like just talking about like Black business ownership, right? We know we far surpass like just framing our businesses as that, right? Because don't just cater to Black people. But I'm just saying, in this time, in this city, right? Homegrown, our demographic, our age, our era, you know, I think it's important to like highlight like, you know, ownership, right?
For sure.
And what you've done, and you and your partners in the various business ventures that you've had. But can you talk, we just finished talking about diet and that pop up. You just mentioned Sandlot, you know what I mean? Can you talk about that, and what does that mean for to have, you know, the various locations, you know, now throughout the DMV, and how does that play into that which you spoke about? You mentioned the students and showing them that it's possible, which is, I think, to our peer group and those coming behind us that may want to venture into ownership. How do you see yourself in that?
A leader for sure. You know what I mean? Like everything that led up. We talking 20 years, 2 decades, bro, that I've been outside making it happen, and the evolution of me as a businessman, my businesses, right? We went from, you know, building a platform for people to feel safe, to feel wanted, to feel a part of, to then, you know what I'm saying, transitioning to products and things of that nature, to going into, now we own our own space, and now I've made it here, and now this foundation is made for me to give to other people, for them to build their businesses too. I did my thing, I got to this point, and now that I'm at this point, now how do we get everybody else up? So that's why when you come to Sandlot, you see a Soul Mega beer, Elliott, Black owned. You see a Michael Lavelle wine, Black owned. You see the cold pressed juice cocktails turning natural, rawish. The straws that we were using, Black owned, like all these things. The DJs that we hire, that we employ, right? especially coming out the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Building that platform where everybody you right there. It's not just me, you know what I'm saying? Like you have supported me and my teams up until this point. Now I'm figuring out a way how to support you while still being in the position that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Like you see, you know what I'm saying? Like what Angel is doing where she's promoting, you know what I'm saying? Like she's using her platform and then giving space to other businesses to be able to make money. Correct. To be able to take care of their families. That's real. You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know what I'm saying, like where we are now. So when I say, you know what I'm saying, like I'm a leader, it's like I earned that right and then I got here. But as a leader, you know what I'm saying, like I understand the moment where you have to step back and then, you know what I'm saying, like you got to push, you know what I'm saying, like other people up.
I was going to ask, like, for you to envision for a second 2044. Molly will be 25 at that point. Gray will be 30 at that point. Izzy and Sophie will be in their late 20s, right? 30 probably at that point, right? Yeah. Do you envision yourself still creating spaces where you're actively involved at that point for that generation of kids coming up?
For sure. I mean, you look at, you know what I'm saying, like I hire people, you know what I'm saying, my family. My cousin Jazz has worked for me. My cousin Devin has worked for me. And they transition from diet, you know what I'm saying, like over to, you know, to Sandlot. You know what I'm saying? Like Tiffany, Penn, and we went to college together. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all of these ends niece works for us. Bro, it's the blueprint is, you know what I'm saying, in the road is being paved for Gray and Molly and Izzy, you know what I'm saying, to be able to take, you know what I'm saying, like over the business and for them to start giving opportunities to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? We going, as long as I'm you know what I'm saying, as long as I'm a person of influence and a leader in the community, I'm going to try to facilitate as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? To help, you know what I'm saying, like to stand behind it. I'm going to let them lead because now I'm out the way. I'm going to let them lead, but I'm going to be standing right there for sure. You know what I'm saying? Till, you know, to the end. You know what I'm saying? That's what this whole entire thing is for. That's what this road is for. This is our life's work. Me and Ian been friends for 30 plus years, bro. 30. You know what I'm saying? And we got a lot of work to do. You know what I'm saying? Because when we talk about going back to that gentrification, one thing when I'm having those conversations, what I try to tell them is like, you all can't tell our story. Mm-hmm. Y'all gonna come here and it's not a lot that we can, you know what I'm saying, like do, because y'all you here now, right? So me being in the position I'm in, I'm trying to make sure that we're the person telling our story. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just think that you come here like, oh yeah, they play basketball, we're gonna put a basketball court here. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how they move. They try to think for us. Sure. Nah, I'm saying like, yo, you here, we here. This is what we trying to do. I'm trying to pass this business down to my kids, to my friends' kids, so that they can pass it down to their kids, so that other kids in the community that choose to stay here will have an opportunity. Like, that's what it's all about.
So, you and I get together once a week and we do a walk together, right? So I've gotten to know you even better in the last year and a half or so, however long it's been since we've been doing that. And I think I have the ability, due to that, to see you in all moments, right? Good, bad, and different, right? We could be walking and both of us have gotten phone calls. We got to handle things in that moment and we see the raw emotions of responding to those things. But I think the average person who just knows you from going to your events or buying products from you, it seems from a distance that like you never have bad days. That's how it seems, right? I thought that until we started getting together and walking and you started really revealing what it takes to do all this stuff, right? And a lot of people pull on you. A lot of people expect you to be everywhere. You become the life of the party when you walk in, even if you don't have anything to do with the production. And I know a lot of people want to be in that position. They want to be the man. They want to own this. They want to produce this. Like, talk about the downside of being pulled by everybody and that sort of experience.
It's not for the weak. It's not for the weak. Y'all, both of y'all know, you asking me the question, but you'll say both of y'all know because I see this happened to both of you all, you know what I'm saying, respectfully, you know what I'm saying, like people, they don't know, you know what I'm saying, like they have no idea, and to a lot of, you know what I'm saying, they don't care. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about what they need in that moment, and I have, to my own fault, have made myself, you know what I'm saying, like available. I've made myself seem like Superman. I made myself seem like I never needed those flowers. Like I'm only here for them. You know what I'm saying? Like these are things that I'm still learning, right? I learned a lot through therapy. Where I talk to you, I said I've learned so much more about people, learning about myself, right? And understanding how to set boundaries, but also understanding how that might be taken. So I'm learning how to better articulate, you know what I'm saying, that situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's not left just dead, right? Sure. So it's like, listen, bruh, I can't do this. But I can help you with this. I can make this phone call or whatever like that. But after that, you know what I'm saying, like it's gonna be on you. I can make the connection, but I can't walk you through the door. I can't do all. Before I'll just be like, I got you. Yeah. It's good. Don't worry about it. I got you. I set that precedent. So it became a expectation. Sure. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, man, I have bad days. You know what I'm saying? Like I lost, you know what I'm saying, like my heart, you know what I'm saying, like a couple years ago, and my nephew. I was crumbling, you know what I'm saying? Like when we were doing diet, bro, 2017, my stepmother and my grandmother raised me, bro. Raised me. And when we were reopening diet for the second term of that pop-up, I lost my stepmother and my grandmother in like less than 2 weeks apart. The two people that raised me, bro, I've been through a lot of shit in my life. I express it as I've been knocked down to the canvas before, but I always been able to get back up. It was like when my stepmother died, it was random, so I hit the canvas hard. And when I did get back up on that one knee, my grandmother passed, before I could get all the way up, it was like somebody hit me again. Yeah. And I was out. And thankfully, you know, I was able to get myself in therapy. I understood, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, those dark days and those dark times where, you know, it turned into self-medicating, you know what I'm saying, like with the all night drinking and things like, bro, like these are all things that carry. So people might have seen me in a party and think like, oh yeah, man, they go Scooty, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm happy to see everybody, but behind closed doors, you know what I'm saying, like, bro, like I'm fucked up. Yeah. I'm all the way, you know what I'm saying, like I'm all the way fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And while the grandmother and the stepmother, while those things were very, you know what I'm saying, random, and you know what I'm saying, like, and they were natural causes, you know what I'm saying, like there was a, you know what I'm saying, like there was a moment in time, you know what I'm saying, with my nephew, bro, like where I had to really sit and feel like, man, that shit was my fault. Me and Silas talked about that. On our walk, I was like, you know, because when I pulled up to the hospital, first of all, I didn't even go straight to the hospital. I thought, you know what I'm saying, he got shot. I was like, man, he in the hospital. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to go see him. He going to see my face. He going to be all right. You know what I'm saying, whatever. So I ain't going to hold you, bro. I'm bullshitting. I'm like, man, I got on the Uber and I was going to go straight to the hospital. I was like, man, I said, nah, matter of fact, take me to my house. It's right down the street from there. Let me go to the house so I can get my truck, because I don't know what time I'm going to leave there. So then I get my truck or whatever. Then I was like, man, you know what, man, I'm probably going to be there for a while. Let me stop and get some jacks, bro. I'm probably going to be out there, you know what I'm saying? Let me go do that. So I'll stop at 7-Eleven. So then I get there and I'm coming through the parking lot, and I see a young lady, and she see me hitting the jack, and she like, hey, can I get a cigarette, whatever? I'm like, here you go. Me and her get the rapping, and something had happened to her nephew. I said, yeah, man, I'm up here for my nephew too. And, you know, I saw his father walking up. And when he walked up on me, he said, man, they killed your baby. And I said, what? Yeah, man, they killed my baby. And I was like, what? Man, I walked around the corner, man, my whole family out there sobbing, going crazy. I didn't even know that he even passed. And one of my cousins looked me in my face, bro, and I know that she was going through a lot of pain, and you know what I'm saying, like I don't want her to see this and think that I blame her, because I understand, you know what I'm saying, like the situation. But she looked me in my face and told me, man, it's your fault. You ain't go get him. You ain't, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the third or whatever. Man, that shit fucked me up. And I had to be front and center, you know what I'm saying, the next day to be wherever it was that I had to be while I'm still dealing with that shit, bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I still had to go to work after I had went to the funeral. You know what I'm saying? And then his grandmother passed. I had to walk back in the same motherfucking church that I last time I was in there, he was in there. Yeah. And I didn't even know that they was burying them together. We talked about that too. I didn't know because I'm so oblivious, and I still gotta show up every motherfucking day. You know what I'm saying?
Be on.
So that's the personal side. Then the business side of it is, yeah, there's a lot of opportunities, but there are a lot of opportunities that where the door gets slammed in my face, and I'm you know, my bills might be, sure, you know what I'm saying, looking crazy. You know, I missed out on a sponsorship for my birthday. That shit put me in a motherfucking hole, and I was doing that for the people, trying to highlight, you know what I'm saying, go-go music and all of the decorations that I designed. I spent months doing that shit. And I had to come out of pocket for something I couldn't even afford. And I got to look my family in the face and be like, man, I'm going to figure it out. And then I got to go back outside and I got to smile in front of everybody's face. Mm-hmm. I got to look at niggas that talk behind my back, talk shit behind my back, not because I did something wrong to them, you know what I'm saying, purposely. It's because they don't want to have a conversation with me. So they talk shit and people, you know what I'm saying, everything I do for the community, you know, man, I got to live with all that shit. Heavy is the motherfucking head that wears the crown. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that shit. They be wanting this, but they don't understand it until they get it. And then when they get it, they half-ass it, and then they don't even understand that now you, because you jumped out there, now you fucking up shit for everybody else. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then I gotta go clean that up too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? How about that? I got to go clean up your mess. You talking shit behind my back, but now I got to go fix, you know what I'm saying, what you fucked up for everybody. And I got to look you in your face and still tell you, even though you was, man, fuck that. I got to, bro, it's going to be all right. I got you. I got you. You know how hard it is, bro, to take some of this shit on the chin, bro. Coming from a place where I come from and seeing the type of shit that I done seen, we talked about that too. Where people, they move differently because they come from different places where we come from, where shit could pop off real quick. For me to hold all of that in and still look you in your face and tell you that I love you and I got you, nigga, that's the hardest motherfucking thing in the world, man. You know what I'm saying? Hardest thing. Still got to make sure that you get sponsorship money. I still got to make sure that you might hit that Broccoli City stage. I still got to make sure that I come to your event and show love. I still got to tap you on the shoulder and be like, hey, cuz, man, listen, the music jive too loud. Everybody here trying conversation. You turn the joint down a little bit, you know what I'm saying, da-da-da, because people leaving out. Hey, cuz, man, listen, man, look, bro. Hey, I still pay for my food. I still, you know what I'm saying, tip well, but, you know what I'm saying, bro, they ain't even bring this out. Cuz took about an hour and a half. Shorty talking, you know what I'm saying, crazy or whatever. I had to tell her, like, man, like, she, like, this is a good job, and you a good person, you know what I'm saying? You just having a rough. I got to do all of these things, and I still got to go home to my wife telling me, like, man, where you been at all day? Yeah. You ain't, dog, you answering the phone for everybody, and you ain't answering the phone for me.
Big P.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like, I don't be answering the phone for everybody. She's like, no. Every time I'm trying to have a conversation with you, you got to be outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, dog, they don't need you there. I'm like, nah, you don't understand. Like they came to my shit. I gotta go support them, because if I don't go support them, they looking at me like I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's all of that shit, bruh. Yeah. And then you add in the phone calls. Then you add in having business partners that you might not, you know what I'm saying, agree with. Then you gotta add in, my bad I'm being long because I gotta get this shit off my chest. Then you gotta add in the Diet Stars Mondays of the world where you was loyal to niggas and niggas was stealing from you, and you still gotta sit here and be quiet. This is my first time saying something about it publicly, where I gotta sit and be quiet while niggas still around me wearing shit and it's irking my motherfucking nerves. Yeah. And I gotta still, I may say something, I may throw some jabs or whatever, like, the man don't wear that no more, man. You know, we ain't doing that no more, whatever. But it's a trigger for me, bro. And I gotta get on the phone with my therapist, you know what I'm saying, and talk and have her talk me through that, or what I need to do next time. Or pushing me up to say, man, make sure the next thing that you do is even bigger, so they don't even remember that shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's right. We talking about all of these things, bro, every day, 9, to 9 every day, 24 hours a day, 365, no days off, holidays, motherfucking funerals, Christmas, Thanksgiving turkey drives, motherfucking graduations, baby showers, and everything, man. I walked into my baby shower, I had a phone call. My wife trying to take a picture of me. I'm like, hey, yeah, you're looking for this person. I'm getting ready to text you the number right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And my bad, I had to get that off my chest. But that's what we here for.
But that's real though, because I think people need to understand. A lot of people from outside looking in, with anybody that's had any level of success and notoriety, they think they want what they see, but they don't see all that come with it. You know what I'm saying? So, for you to sort of unpack that, I think is important. And what's also important, you mentioned your therapist several times, and I just think that's vital. I think that's a tool and a support that so many people need, particularly black men, and should be open to it. And so I thank you for sharing that piece as well, because it can be so helpful, man. And so my question along those lines is, how helpful has therapy been for you, and how do you see it as something that's we talked about 2044, is therapy something that you see as being a part of, as you continue on in life?
Absolutely. It's a vital part of my growth. And I mean, you grow every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, every day of my life, I'm trying to be a better person than I was the day before. And I'm also trying to understand a lot of the things, you know what I'm saying, like, that happened to me in my life, why they happened, and trying to be at peace with those things, decisions that I've made, things that I'm not proud of. You know what I'm saying? Like, relationships, my mom. You know what I'm saying? My mom is like one of my best friends, right? One of my best friends. My mother left me when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So to be able to be in the space that we in right now, where I love her unconditionally, and we were able to, you know what I'm saying, like, to start a whole new, all of that is due, you know what I'm saying, like, to me understanding, like, that it wasn't all her fault. Yeah. And I only understand that because I understand the things that I've done, and being like, damn, that wasn't me. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we're going to always constantly be tested. You know what I'm saying? Like, today is today, tomorrow's tomorrow, next week, month, you know what I'm saying, year, whatever the case may be, different circumstances. I'm now a father of 2. I don't know what that looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's I don't know whether it's a girl or a boy. If it's a girl, I've never been father to a daughter. I have goddaughters. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what it's like. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To be in your shoes. I also don't know what it's like to be me. You know what I'm saying? Like, in that moment. Yeah, sure. You know what I'm saying? I think that, like, when we talk about therapy, you have a clear understanding that nobody knows you better than you know yourself. So nobody can give you the right answers. You know the right answers. And anybody that's been in therapy, you might be in that moment where you like, you talking, and you like, oh damn, I just answered my own. I just answered my own question. Yeah. It's because you're with yourself all day. Nobody knows you better than you know yourself. Period. Point blank.
And you don't know nothing more than you know. You're an expert on you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So in that sense, it's like, you have to understand, like, dog, you need tools. You need tools to be able to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need that safety net, or that person, you know what I'm saying, like, when you going off the rails a little bit, to like, let me get you back, you know what I'm saying? Let me get you back over there. Let me remind you, you know what I'm saying, like, things like that. Or let me probe you for a second so that you can give yourself the answer that you need, so that you know how to move forward. That shit is vital in personal and professional, you know what I'm saying, life and growth. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I advocate for anybody who is thinking about it. If you need resources, you know what I'm saying, like, let's talk about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's make that happen. Let's make that a party. You know what I'm saying? Where we just giving resources out to people who don't have them and who need them, and, you know what I'm saying, and they don't know where to go to get them.
Yeah.
So as we land this plane right on this incredible conversation, I can't help but think about, and I think you missed out on this at the baby shower. You spoke at the very end of, like, the formal part of the event. And you talked about two things that really stood out to me. One, you talked about the difference in 10 years between Gray's birth and the celebration of that, and having to make decisions based on limited resources, right? Not being able to invite everybody. And this time it was like this packed, overwhelming, large crowd of people that came to celebrate you, P, Gray, and your baby to come. That was one thing that stood out to me. The second thing that stood out to me was you guys incorporated Gray in that celebration to make him feel a part of it, which he is, obviously, right? But you talked about you and P driving around in Bethesda, in North Portal, all those neighborhoods in Northwest and into the county, and just dreaming about living a life of abundance, right, with you and your family. So I just wanted to end it on that, just you reflecting on how far you've come and how you've done that with the core group that you have with you.
Yeah, I think that you know, the growing up, man, like I really ain't know what life was going to look like for me. I was going through, you know what I'm saying, like you know, when we talk about, you know what I'm saying, chameleon and all those type of things, like that's the good side of it. The bad side of it is you go through identity crisis because you don't have you don't have exact roots. Like when I talk to you Hanover. I talk to you 7th Street, right? Me, I've lived in so many places. Like I don't have, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what am I going to do? How do you go from being top, you know, one of the top at your school and getting set about all these colleges to getting kicked out of school? And you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you go from going to the go-go 13, 14 days in a row to, you know what I'm saying, like now you in these different parties and, you know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of those things, you know, going on. So I didn't know where the trajectory was going to go for me. And the only thing that I had was the things that were still constant in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like certain people, and P was one of those people for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, no matter what was happening, you know what I'm saying? Like she still was always there. And when I met her, I told her the first day that I met her that I was going to marry her. You know what I'm saying? Period, point blank. And we were living, you know, or we were envisioning that Cosby Show life, you know what I'm saying? The 5 kids, successful, you know what I'm saying, mother, successful father, you know what I'm saying? Like you go through the good times, you know what I'm saying, bad times, it's, you know what I'm saying, we all end up smiling and laughing, and at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, like that's, you know, that's what I wanted. And there was a road, you know what I'm saying, like to be able to get there. So then once we got there, I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying, we here now. But then, you know what I'm saying, like other things happen. You know what I'm saying? And Gray is born. I quit my job. You know, now we doing this creative thing full time, everything. So there were financial difficulties and things like that. So that life that I thought we was about to, we on our road, you know what I'm saying, we moving on up. You know what I'm saying? Like now it's like, oh shit, like, you know what I'm saying, like we in neutral right now. And those things become hard, and relationships get tested and all of those things. And then it's the diet thing, and then it's the me thinking I got my flowers, and now, you know what I'm saying, it's the stuff that we talked about. It's the Rock Creek Social Club, and it's the, you know, the Diet Starts Monday, Broccoli City, and it's all of these different type of things, right? That was almost there as like, while they were great, they also was all distractions from the things that mattered the most. So when I pulled Gray there, you know what I'm saying, like with me, and I hope that all makes sense because I'll be rambling and shit.
No,
but
you good.
But when I pulled Gray there, and I started crying because he doesn't even understand this 9-10 years.
Right.
He has no idea, you know what I'm saying, like what we've been through to get to this moment, and we're all still here together when everything else would have said that we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we're standing in a moment now where evolution is happening. We've used that word a lot, or I've used that word a lot. Where now he's getting ready to transition, and I'm also holding him because I don't think that he all the way understands what, you know what I'm saying, like what his life is about to be like as an older sibling and the responsibility. But I'm holding him because I'm like this, I got you. The same way that I said I had all them other niggas and this, that, and the third, I understand what my purpose is now. I understand the people that I should have and the people that I shouldn't have through boundaries and you know what I'm saying, and setting realistic expectations. And now I can hold him and I can hold my wife's hand and I can cry because I'm like, damn, I'm here now, nigga, and I got y'all.
Yeah.
I got y'all. We made it. You was slipping. You was slipping away from me. I almost lost you, bruh. Bruh, I was real life drinking every day, going till 6 o'clock in the morning, coming home, going to sleep, and then, you know what I'm saying, and waking up and going straight to work where I would just start, you know, partying and drinking again. My kid at home during some of the most vulnerable times of his life when I should have been, you know what I'm saying, like throwing a motherfucking football and playing basketball and doing all this type of things. I was distracted, you know what I'm saying? So I'm holding him because I'm like, cuz, like, bro, I got you. In life, and I just got you. I'm not gonna let you go, because now I understand the importance and the value of this, and everybody else is a testament of it. They all here because they see the value in it too, and they want to pour in. They wasn't around 10 years ago because what you missed was me saying that P had opened up and said that she felt like she was alone. You know what I'm saying? And she and it was a depressing time for her, being a new mother and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So when I, you know what I'm saying, like think about, you know what I'm saying, like all of those things, and now I look and say the reason why she was alone is because niggas was not interested in, you know what I'm saying, the people of value were not interested in that nigga that I was then. They interested in the nigga that I am now. They see what this is and they like, that's what you supposed to be doing. And that's the reason why we here. You know what I'm saying? That's, you know what I'm saying, like that is that moment, you know what I'm saying, in time on both sides.
Yeah. Well, man, we appreciate you coming on for real. And Tone, I appreciate you crystallizing early in the conversation the parallel between what he was doing and how that same population was feeding over into the work that we've been doing and the events that we've been doing. I never thought about that until this conversation. So I think that, with a number of other things, but that in particular, I think has fused this bond for a lifetime.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. And we continue to build on that. People love to see and they gravitate towards when the group is together, when it makes sense. When we standing on our own, we could do it a little bit, but when we stand together and they see all of us doing, then they like, oh yeah, we need to move.
Yeah. Well, thank everybody again for watching Heart of the City. As we've been saying for the last several episodes, we appreciate the support, the love, and just you guys taking the time to watch the conversations that we're having. And hopefully it feels like you're a part of the conversation. And if you do feel that way, tell more people to watch, tell more people to like the page and subscribe to it, and share it as much as possible as you can. So until next time, peace and love.
Heart of the City.
Heart of the City.